Now we're gonna see how to apply textures to our objects. A texture, it's an image that will wrap the object or the mesh or the model, whatever, right? So, but we need to have the images ready. In this case, I'm gonna create here in the source directory, I'm gonna create a new folder, and I'm gonna call that textures. And I have several textures here. I'm gonna use one for the ball, another for the brick, and other for the paddle. I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste that in textures. Just note that those are not PNG or JPG, but WebP extension. So that's fine, that's a supported format. I'm just gonna copy here the textures I'm gonna use. And for the bricks, I just want to create the material once in the texture, and I'm gonna apply that to all the bricks. So I'm gonna change this gold before I create the bricks, but I'm not gonna use a diffuse color now. I'm gonna use another property named diffuse texture, and diffuse texture will accept. Let me comment that because we are not going to use that anymore. And I'm going to have a new texture. 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 Okay, that's it. I need to import that to the babylon.js core, and it accepts the path of the image I'm gonna use and the name of the scene. So now the texture will be part of this scene. But for the brick material or the bricks, I need to use my brick there is inside textures, and the name is brick.webp. So that is the path of my image for this texture, but I need to set that material now to the brick, and that's it. Now I'm not using a diffuse color, I'm not using red anymore, but the texture. I need to do something similar with the paddle and with the ball, right? For the others, for the other objects I have. So if I go to the creation of the paddle, paddle create box, this is one. Paddle material, diffuse color. Okay, I just need to comment that line, but I'm gonna use the paddle material with diffuse texture equals new texture. I'm gonna set the new path, and again it's textures. Paddle that webp, paddle that webp, that's fine. Inside texture, that's one. I'm gonna set them at the paddle material to the paddle, and I need to do the same for the ball. And the ball here doesn't have any ball material. I'm gonna create that. Cons ball material equals new standard material, and this is the ball material. So the ball material on the property diffuse texture equals new texture to the scene, and I'm gonna add the path to the textures slash ball web p. So I need to add the ball material to the ball dot material equals ball material. So now we can have we change the textures, or we set a new texture for our materials on our 3D models. If I go to the code, we can see that I don't have the colors anymore, but I don't have the materials either. What's happening here? If I open the console, I'm seeing here that the resources that I set for the ball, the paddle, and the brick are not found. I must see if there is some issue. Now that I know they are not found, how? Well, if I build a project, I'm gonna delete the distribution folder. Delete. npm run build. If I build again and the distribution folder is created again, if I go to the folder, I just have the bundle and the index HTML. I don't have the textures folder. So that means when I create the project, the textures are not there, are not passed to the distribution folder. If you remember, we had some similar issue with our index.html. If I go to the webpack config, I have here the HTML web plugin, but we also have the copy webpack plugin. This plugin will help us to copy any resource to the distribution folder in this case. Right, what is happening is that when I'm creating the project, I'm not copying the assets that we're going to use. I need to add that here. So when I compile my bundle.js file, I need to set explicitly what are the files that are going to be my assets that I need to be copied to the distribution folder here. And if I go to the webpack, then I need to add the new plugin here. It will be new copy webpack plugin, and it will accept an object like this of patterns. Yeah, in that property patterns, I can add an array of objects. In this case, I need to add the from to properties. So I want to copy all the files that are in src textures to my distribution folder in the textures folder. So this will create again. So all the content or all the folder in src texture will be copied to the distribution folder textures. If I so we don't have that folder here. If I delete this again and I build the project, I can see now that when the project is created, distribution folder is created, now I have the textures folder here, and we have the assets that we need for the textures. If I run this, npm run start, if I go to the code, we can see that we have now the textures in place. So this is the brick texture, the ball texture, and the paddle textures. So those are the images that I paste into the textures folder, and now I'm wrapping my boxes and my ball here, right? It's the same thing, everything's the same, the logic is the same, just we change from a color to a texture. That's how you set the textures to a 3D object.